So you've probably seen this acronym, RAG, popping up pretty much everywhere in AI conversations lately. And yeah, it might sound like just another piece of jargon, but trust me, it's actually the key to unlocking the real power of large language models. In this explainer, we're going to demystify RAG and show you exactly why it's the engine behind the next generation of AI.
It all starts with a frustration I'm sure you felt. You have this incredibly powerful AI, but its knowledge is basically frozen in time. It has no idea what happened last week, and it definitely can't access your company's private documents. So what's the fix?
Well, the best way to understand the solution is with a super simple analogy. Think of a standard LLM as a student who has to take a really hard test using only what they've managed to memorize. They might be brilliant, but their knowledge has a hard limit. A RAG-powered LLM, on the other hand, that's like the same student taking an open book exam. They can look up the correct information right then and there before giving you an answer.
So let's crack open that book and see exactly how this whole thing works.
That open book is the entire idea behind RAG, which, by the way, stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. See, it's not about making the model memorize more stuff. It's about giving it the skill to look things up. RAG connects your LLM to your specific data, whether that's internal documents, databases, or even the live internet. The model first retrieves the relevant facts, and only then does it generate an answer based on that fresh, accurate info. The process itself is actually pretty elegant and simple. First, you ask a question. Second, the system goes out and retrieves the most relevant snippets of information from your knowledge base. And third, the LLM uses that retrieved info to generate an answer that's actually grounded in facts. You can think of it like a partnership. You've got a super powerful search engine finding the facts and a super powerful reasoning engine putting them all together. So, here's the crucial point. RAG isn't just some cool tech demo or a little trick. It is the fundamental architecture behind pretty much every serious enterprise AI application being built today. We're talking everything from customer support bots that actually know your company's policies to tools that can analyze incredibly complex legal documents.
But you know, as RAG has gotten more popular, a few big misconceptions have started to float around, so let's just clear the air on a couple of the most common ones.
You've probably seen this one on social media or in some forums. The idea is that a few studies showed that RAG systems can still make mistakes, so the whole approach must be flawed and is therefore, dead.
But that completely misses the point. RAG isn't one single piece of technology, it's an architectural pattern. And that pattern is evolving. The simple RAG from a year ago is giving way to much more sophisticated systems that are designed specifically to fix those early weaknesses. So no, RAG isn't dying, it's just growing up.
Now this one sounds pretty logical at first. New models can handle millions of words, tokens, in a single prompt. So why not just stuff all your documents in there and just skip that whole retrieval step?
Well, in practice, this brute force approach just completely falls apart for three key reasons. First, the cost is absolutely astronomical. Second, it's incredibly slow. And third, and this is so important, models actually perform worse when the important facts are buried in a sea of irrelevant noise. RAG is designed to find the needle in the haystack, not to dump the entire haystack on the model and hope for the best.
Okay, so if that simple, basic RAG has its limits, what has it evolved into? Let's take a look at a few of the key patterns that make modern RAG systems so incredibly powerful.
We have to start with simple RAG. This is the hello world version we've been talking about. You ask a question, you retrieve some text, you stuff it in the prompt, and you get an answer. It's a great way to build a quick prototype, but honestly, it's just not robust enough for real-world production applications.
This brings us to a really fascinating pattern called HyDE. It tackles a super common problem. A user's question often looks nothing like the document that holds the answer. HyDE's solution is just brilliant. The LLM first generates a hypothetical answer. Then, it uses that fake answer to search the database. Because this hypothetical answer is structured more like the actual documents, the search results end up being way more accurate. Pretty clever, right?
Next up is corrective RAG, which I like to think of as a quality control gate for your information. After retrieving documents, it first stops and asks, hey, is this information actually any good? If the documents seem irrelevant or have a low confidence score, the system can automatically try to rephrase the question, or it can even go out and do a quick web search to find better context before it even tries to generate an answer. And this all leads us to the most significant evolution so far, Agent-Tech RAG. Now the LLM isn't just generating text, it's orchestrating an entire process. It decides what to do next,
Should I search again? Should I call an API? Maybe run some code? It can loop through these actions, essentially thinking its way through the problem until it's confident it has the best possible answer. This is a total game changer.
So where is all of this heading? Well, it's about a fundamental shift in how we even think about AI and information.
What's happening is that RAG is transforming AI from a simple tool that just parrots back information into an autonomous researcher that can actively find, evaluate, and synthesize knowledge to solve complex problems all on its own. And the evolution is absolutely not stopping. We're now seeing the rise of multimodal RAG, which lets the AI pull information not just from text, but from charts, images, and tables. And then there's Graph RAG, which helps the AI understand the deep relationships between concepts, going way beyond simple keyword matching. So I'll leave you with this thought. We are moving way beyond just asking simple questions and getting back simple answers. As RAG continues to mature from a lookup tool into a sophisticated reasoning partner, the real question isn't just about how it will change AI, it's about how it will fundamentally change the way every single one of us works with information itself.